Hi, this is Vicky, also known as DragonflySoars. It is Tuesday, February 17th, and it's about 5:45, and of course Tigger's here. I was just telling best friend that I need like a Tigger shelf, like a place where he can be near and hopefully not jumping. Anyway, so I may cut in and out a little bit more than usual because I'm getting over being sick. I think I told you that my son got sick. I took him to the doctor last time I was there. Well, I got the same nasty cold thing, and Mom had had it before too. His went into pneumonia. Mine went into a ear and throat infection. Plus just, feeling stuffed up and don't jump. Feeling stuffed up and sniveling and coughing, and my asthma's been acting up. I think I have to go back. I've still got a few days of antibiotics, but I went to the urgent care, and they didn't think my wheezing was very bad. She just thought it was a cough from the cold, but I'm not convinced. Give me a couple more days because I have 3 more days of antibiotics after the end of today because I have 10 days total. I see you. Yes, I see you. You are a pest. Alright. But I do have lots of things to tell you about, if the cat doesn't keep interrupting. So, last time I felt kind of bad because I didn't have a ton to show you in a week. But, partially because I was sick and partially because I just sort of wanted to power through stuff, I actually got a ton done. The first thing I got done, I can't show you in person, but I will post pictures right here. So, what you saw there was I blocked all my squares for the K-Facet Afghan. I filled up a bathtub full of cool water and I don't even know what kind of soap I was using. Eucalyptus. I don't remember. Kookaburra, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I filled up a bathtub. It was a clean bathtub. It's the spare bedroom that if my son is visiting or Tiff is visiting, it gets used. Otherwise, nobody uses that shower. So, clean bathtub, dumped them all in, all 63, all at once, and then I took them out of the bathtub in small batches and put them on blocking mats. So, that was all 63 squares, blocking all at once because I just wanted to be done. A couple of people were like, wow, because I posted on the K-Facet board, and I'm like, mostly it's because I know for me, that's the point I'm going to get stuck. Because the blocking is going to take a great deal of time, and it's not something you can do just a little bit at a time. The sewing up is going to take time, but I can put the squares near the couch where I sit watching TV, and I can, dabble at it, and they'll eventually get done. But blocking doesn't work that way. It's kind of an all or nothing. You either need to commit to it or not. So I committed all the way. So all my squares are blocked. I'm going to put in the square pictures right here just so you can see all the different colors, and then I'm going to show you my plan for the Afghan. I'm partially pausing also because then I can cough. I'm mostly okay, but when I really get going, I'm struggling a little still. Not nearly as bad as last week. There was a point last week where I basically had laryngitis and asthma. There was no talking. I actually took 2 days off of work last week. I didn't even try and work from home, which was okay because the one day I ended up sleeping a lot, and I felt bad because I had told my team I would check in on them, and so I asked my guy, because he works with them too, hey, has anything happened that I need to be aware of, because I haven't checked in at all. And he said, no, in fact, our boss said to make sure you stay off the damn computer and get some rest. So I felt a lot better because it was okay. So anyway, I blocked all those Wednesday. No. When did I block? I must have blocked them Tuesday. I blocked them all Tuesday because best friend wasn't here. And then Wednesday I ended up going to the doctor, and then I went to his house. And I actually stayed at his house for a few days so he could just take care of me. And he ran to my house and took care of the kitties and got me soup and extra underwear and stuff because I hadn't been planning on staying as many days as I did. So he really helped out. So anyway, I finally decided what my final layout for the blanket's going to be. Now this is, showed it to best friend, and he said, final answer. I said, final answer. If you have any objections, I don't want to hear about it. And then he made a smart-ass comment about not knowing if he liked the stripes, because it's all stripes. I glared at him. This is going to be my final. I decided to do zigzags up and down in each of the colors, and I did. So it is. That is my final answer. And I have put so many layouts. And I know a few people were like doing a layout and like trying a few different layouts and posting them on the boards and then showing and asking people for their opinion. I don't want anybody's opinion. So if you think I'm doing it wrong, I don't want to know. But the original layout I did not like. I like things to be symmetrical where I can tell what the design plan is, or they need to be totally random. And this is not the kind of thing that can really be totally random. So symmetrical it is, because the original design was not symmetrical. It was almost symmetrical, and I don't deal well with almost symmetrical. So anyway, this is my final answer. So, but now they're just going to get, they're all flat. So now I'm just going to move them, you know, somewhere where I can work on them a little bit at a time and probably connect them into strips. So, and then put the strips together eventually. I already missed the deadline for the prizes, so I'm not too worried about it, except for getting it off my plate. Alright, the next thing, I did start the Afghan that's co-hosted by Yarnspirations and the Crochet Crowd. It's a mystery crochet along, and Clue 1 came out last week, and Clue 2 came out today. This is a spoiler alert for anyone that's in the process of doing it, but Clue 1 was to make granny squares, all in one color. Now, there were, just a sec, there were a lot of complaints from people about it being granny squares. I actually didn't mind, especially because I was sick. They went really fast. So, my original color, my main color is the gray. So, let me post the pictures of the colors real quick. Alright, so my colors, you just saw, are light gray as the main color. And then this dark teal, which is called Pagoda. Dark teal. Purple, which is called Plum Perfect. And this fuchsia pink color called Passion. So the light gray is my main color. So I made 20 light gray granny squares. Yeah. I then decided that those got done really fast and I really wanted to keep working on it. So I decided that maybe I could make another one for best friend. And so I started one for him. I actually ran over to Joann's on a night when I probably shouldn't have, because I was still not feeling good and it was cold enough that I kind of regretted going, because it made my asthma and everything act up. But I didn't regret going because I got colors for him. So his colors are dark gray as his main color. The same light gray I'm using as my main color is one of his. The dark teal he has, and then this light teal, it's called Robin's Egg. So, and he likes these colors. So that means our Afghans will have two colors in common. His main color will be dark gray, and then he has light gray, dark teal, light teal. My light gray is the main color, and then I have purple, dark teal, and the pink. So let me show you his colors. And part of that was because we already had extra of the dark teal, because that was originally going to be my main color, and then we decided we didn't like it as much. Well, I toned it down. And then I was thinking, well, it would be nice if we had two. One that's a little bit more me, one that's a little bit more him. He really likes the colors, and because they share colors, they will go together but not match. Now, I don't know what they're going to look like when they're done. They might be very girly, but he doesn't seem to be bothered by that kind of thing. So, Clue 2 came out today, and well, first of all, there's a lot of people complaining about granny squares. It didn't really bother me because they were easy, and I figured they were the base for something. Well, today, the next clue builds upon the first clue. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, because I know this one, this clue just came out, so if you don't want to know, I will not say anything about it. I'm just going to show it, so look away for a couple seconds. I did use the purple as my second color for my squares. And now I'm done showing it. So the second clue does only adds color B. So, which can be any of your other colors that's not the main. I haven't decided what color for sure I'm going to do on his, but I will figure it out. I think I know which one I'm going to use. But anyway, so that's clue 1 and clue 2. Now, one thing I told myself is I finished clue 1, but I told myself I could, and I did the other night, I did one square of his blanket, and then I put it away and told myself I could not do it anymore until I finished something else that I need to work on. So, let me pause for a second, post pictures of this. So again, if you don't want to be spoiled for the second clue, don't look up. Before I go on to the next thing, I did want to say one thing about the mystery knit-along. If you're going to do a mystery knit-along, trust the process. There has been one mystery knit-along a while back that was a shawl that I didn't like. And I actually went with it for a little while. And it wasn't that I didn't like the shawl. I didn't like the fact that it was a mystery, because I felt that each clue was basically identical. Except for getting bigger. And I did not like that one. And frankly, the K-Facet one, I finished it. I made a commitment. I followed it through. I think I'm going to like the finished blanket. Would I have started it if I realized I was going to do all stripes? Maybe not. But this one I've already learned something new on each of the 2 clues. I don't know what it's going to look like. I have faith. I have faith that there's going to be more than those 20 squares because they said it's going to be a standard throw size, like 45 by 57 or something like that. So I'm not too worried about it. But there's a bunch of people who are not dealing very well with it, and you got to trust the process in a mystery. I've been talking to Heather, who is too Nandy, and she was saying she did another mystery knit-along with the crochet crowd, and she was really excited about it. And it turned out they were making monsters, and it was called Who's in Your Closet? And it turned out that it was going to be Mike Wachowski, I think it is, from Monsters, Inc. He's really cute. But because it was a mystery, they didn't know that it was Mikey. So there are Mikeys in the project pages that are all different colors. Hers is peach, and I think he's adorable. And you can tell, if you look at the project pages, there's a bunch of them that are all wild colors. Would you stop knocking the table? And then there's a bunch of them that are the standard Mikey colors. I kind of really like the ones that are all wild and mysterious because none of those people knew for sure what they were making. And they made monsters, you know, just surprise, crazy monsters. Like you would have in your closet. They weren't making, you know, the monster Mike necessarily. And I just think they're so cool. And that's kind of how I feel about this. It'll be what it'll be, but I'm kind of having fun so far. So, if you're going to do a mystery knit-along, you have to be prepared for the mystery part. So anyway, I wouldn't let myself start the second Afghan until I finished the comfort shawl. So this is the comfort shawl for Threads of Compassion. It needs to be at least 24 inches deep and 60 inches wide. It is, depending on how it stretches, it's between 26 and 28 inches wide. And it's, when I hold it up, it's taller than me, so it's over 60 inches. I didn't actually measure it that way. I just held it up and went, I'm 63 inches, therefore it's good. But I finished it the other day. Now, the last time you saw this, it only had a couple rows done. Here, let me show you. So there wasn't very much done, and I hadn't worked on it. Now, I finished the light gray squares and had nothing else to do. When Best Friend came and took care of the kitties and everything, I asked him to please bring me the comfort shawl so I could had something to work on. And so he did, and then I worked on it. And then I decided to just power through. And then, like I said, I ended up buying more yarn to do a second Afghan, but I wouldn't let myself, aside from the first square, I didn't let myself work on it until this was done. And I finished it in a couple days, which means I could have always finished it in a couple days if I had just focused on it. But it's kind of big and bulky, and I don't really like working with homespun. It's line brand homespun. Anyway, stay down. So I finished it off, and then I bound off the edges, because on one side I was carrying up the alternate yarn, so it was it didn't look super pretty. So on both sides I bound off the edge with one of the colors. So I really like the way it came out. Let me show you. Oh, there was one day though, I don't remember which day it was. Geeky Girls has their GGK Crafty Pad Challenge, which is Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. And this month they're doing mostly the alphabet. So 26 days are the alphabet. The 14th is love, and I don't remember what the other day is. But the day that I was talking about was M. And I had gotten to a certain point, and I went to hold it up to see how far I had gotten because it seemed like I was really moving. I realized I had made a mistake, and at some point I had gone part of a row, turned around and went back, and then just kept going on that shortened row. So here's my mistake moment, which is what I used for the M photo that day. I was so frustrated by it because I couldn't believe I had gotten that far without noticing it. But really, I went to pick it up because I was going to measure to see how far I had gotten, because I was trying to see. I was almost done with the first. I had bought in 3 skeins each of 2 colors, and I was almost done with the first skeins of each color. And so I wanted to measure to see how far it had gotten to make sure I was going to have enough. And I went to lift it up and realized that I had screwed up. But anyway, as it turned out, I actually used almost all the yarn I had. So, but now I'm going to post finished pictures. One is me holding it, one is just laying down, and then one is a close-up of the edge. I have one more thing I'm just started working on. I have this yarn. It's Bernat Satin. This one's Sable. This one's Loyal Blue, which seems very fancy for something I would call Royal Blue. But it is for this project. Now the picture's not in color, but it's a mouse and his cookie, which if you have kids, you probably recognize it. Now, my son didn't read Mouse and his Cookie, but I at least know what it is. One of my employees, her nephew's, is doing a fundraiser, and she wanted to help, and she's very, very sweet. And she came to me and said, first of all, she's like, I'm going to ask you something. It's a favor. You can say no, but she wanted to know, they're putting together, as part of the fundraiser, a basket for a mouse and his cookie. So it'll have the book, and I think it's going to have cookie dough and some other stuff. And she was wondering if I could crochet the mouse. And now, I normally don't say yes to those kinds of things, but she's very sweet. She's one of the nicest people I know. She told me it wasn't needed until the end of March. She had already told them that she thought that it was a long shot and I might not agree to it. And she was going to buy me the supplies I needed. And so I found the pattern. I was like, it's no problem. I can make this. So, and I actually was hoping that I had yarn in mouse color, but I didn't. And Mom probably does have yarn in mouse color, but I wanted to get it done. So far, I started it, last night. So far, all I have, because I was finishing the last of my squares last night before Clue 2 came out. So I have 2 legs. So I was telling best friend, if I did 2 legs last night, if I do 2 arms tonight, because I'm looking at the pattern, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 ears, a head, a body, including the tail, and then a cookie and assembly, of course. I'm like, even if all I do is a little bit, I can easily get this done before she needs it. So I told her I had the stuffing and I had the little extra bits of yarn for like the nose and stuff, but she got me safety eyes and the 2 main colors. So I think it will be good. Now I was trying to think of other things. It was Valentine's Day on Saturday. We did not, well, we don't do a lot for Valentine's Day anyway. It's not one of those things that we worry about. But best friend did send me flowers. Now, he had told me that FedEx was bringing me a package. And so I had actually gotten up kind of early on Saturday because FedEx is notorious for either coming early, or even if they're not early, they ring the doorbell, and if you don't answer right away, they drive off and they don't leave the package. And I was a little concerned that I would try and run down the stairs half asleep and miss them and hurt myself. So I got up early, and actually my son texted me from his event about 15 minutes before I was going to get up anyway, so it was fine. Now, we waited, and eventually best friend came over, and he was really surprised and kind of worried that my package hadn't arrived. I still didn't know what it was at that point. Hi. Well, eventually he gets a call from 1-800-Flowers saying that my package had been delivered to the wrong address. Apparently some guy had called them, told them that it was delivered to the wrong address, and before they could get his information, he hung up on them. Well, my phone number was on the box, so, for the delivery person. So he called me, and it turned out he was just down the street, and he brought my flowers over so that I didn't have to wait for FedEx to pick them up again and bring them to the correct address when we weren't that far apart. So the day was saved. Best friend was a little frustrated that it had gotten delivered wrong in the first place, but he was very grateful that the guy that had them made the trip over, especially because Saturday was so cold. And then Saturday night, we ended up going to a birthday party. One of his friends has a birthday on Valentine's Day, and he normally does not celebrate his birthday because normally they celebrate Valentine's Day. But this year they were going to celebrate his birthday, and they were doing a surprise birthday party at a local bar. Now, best friend doesn't drink at all, and I drink rarely. And we didn't know anybody except for he knew the friend's wife, and he didn't think he was going to know anybody else. I knew my guy. I actually don't know this friend or his wife. So it was a little like, okay. But we went. And it turned out that one of our other friends had also been invited, and we hadn't realized it, but he had come. So we hung out with him, which was good because they ended up being late because they had gone out to eat and ordered a bottle of wine. And John, wanted to hang out with his wife at the restaurant and enjoy their time. And in the meantime, she was trying to get him to leave and go to the bar where she knew all his friends were waiting. But of course, he didn't know that, and he just, wants to hang out with his wife on his birthday. By the time they got there, they were over half an hour late, and he saw somebody he knew, but it was somebody that he said could be at any bar. He's just kind of one of those people. So he made a beeline for his friend to say hello, and then all of a sudden, he looked around and realized he knew people, and it was this look on his face of, and all of a sudden, oh my God! So that part was pretty funny. We socialized for a while, and eventually we said, well, Vicky's not entirely healthy, we're going to go home. So we did our part. We actually had a good time the time we were there, but I was also done by then because I still did not feel good. It was cold outside. We're not drinkers. So that was Valentine's Day. Just because I know somebody will ask. And thank you for everybody that sent Valentine's Day cards. Because I wasn't feeling good, I did not make as much of an effort to try and send them out. What else did I write on here? Oh, the what do you want me to share thread. But also I wrote coffee kindness. I went to Starbucks the other day, and there's a weird driveway in our Starbucks that really isn't meant to be for the drive-through. It's for additional parking. But every now and then people will try and come that way, and some of them are just real pains about getting in and forcing themselves into the drive-through lane when really they're not supposed to be there. But there was a woman who came in that way the other day, and you could tell all of a sudden she was just like, oh, and she looked so frazzled and a little upset, and I was just like, I let her in, I just backed off, waved her in, let her go. She wasn't trying, she just made a mistake, you could tell. And then I got up to my turn, and they said that she had paid for my coffee because she wanted to thank me for letting her in and apologize for coming in from the wrong place. Okay, thank you. So sometimes it was nice. So because usually there's a lot of rude people. I'm sorry, my elbow's like really dry and so it's itchy. So that was nice. All right, what do you want me to share? This is from Calico Kitty 6. I taught myself to knit and hold my yarn for tensioning differently from everyone else I know. I am trying to broaden my knit skills and bought the Craftsy class that teaches English, Continental, and Portuguese knit styles. Currently, I knit the English American style and throw my yarn. I want to do some stranded work in the future, so I think learning Continental style will help me. What is your preferred style and why? And do you use different styles for different projects? I am primarily a right-handed thrower. However, I don't let go of my needles a lot. I watched a lot of videos of different people knitting, and I watched different friends knitting, and periodically they show an efficiency, and I'll try it and see if I can kind of blend it into mine. And so I actually I'm almost a flicker, but not quite. If you've ever seen the Yarn Harlot, she balances her needles here and then flicks the yarn, and I can't do that, but I do hold them pretty close and have pretty even tensioning. When I crochet, I hold it in my left hand. And I can continental knit. For the life of me, I can't figure out continental purling in any way that doesn't hurt. So sometimes I will switch off. I can knit the normal way, and then I can, without flipping it, I can knit back, because when I was doing entrelac, I taught myself how to knit from left needle to right needle and right needle to left needle, sometimes called knitting backwards. I can continental knit. I use it sometimes for stranded knitting, but honestly, I tend to stranded knit with both colors in my right hand more often, and I kind of push up with my thumb when I switch colors. I shift my knitting style a lot so that my hands don't hurt. I can actually knit for most of a day and not have my hands hurt. Now, crocheting, I'm learning to do that. I've had to relax my style because otherwise I get a right through here. It'll start really pulling. When I was forcing myself to finish the comfort throw, I realized it was hurting, and I actually put it down for a while, did some stretches, did some other stuff. I think I went and did laundry and came back to it, and then took more breaks. The smaller stuff doesn't seem to bother me as much, but I switch off, and I will periodically switch to continental. My tension isn't much different, continental versus English, so I can switch off if I want. I don't hold it and then wrap it and make a stitch and then wrap it. I see people that do that. I don't do that. But I taught myself to knit, so I watch a lot of videos. Like I said, I watch a lot of videos, watch how other people knit, and watch people in real life. And sometimes I kind of see what they're doing and try it out. Now, I did buy the Craftsy class on how to knit continental because I'm curious. And I know Leah, I can't think of what her name is, but she runs the Knit Freedom classes. She has a class on continental knitting. Now, some people say continental knitting is inherently faster. I don't think that's true. When they've had world records for fastest knitter, sometimes they've been continental knitters, sometimes they've been English style knitters. So I think it's whatever you are comfortable with and have gotten used to. Speed is not my priority. Evenness in my tension is my priority. I hope that answers. I haven't done Portuguese knitting. I tried it a little bit, and Portuguese is where you have the yarn either around your neck for tensioning or with a pin here, and it's because it makes the purling easier if you're doing continental, or well, you're holding your yarn in the left hand. I did it for a little while, and that is a fantastic cat toy. So we don't do that one anymore. Well, I didn't even try that one very much because there is just something fascinating about the yarn moving around Mom's neck. nope, not happening. So, all right. I am sounding more gravelly, so I am going to go. I will put this together. I'll probably upload it at work because every time I upload at home, it takes forever. And then I'll have a day when I upload it at work and then go, why don't I do this all the time? Because it's so much faster. All right. I think that's everything. Talk to you next time. Bye now. What are you doing, Tiki Tigers? Yeah. You do realize this is Mama's show, right? Do you know this? Alright, so we have to change it to the Tigger show?